The story begins with a homeless man named Dwight. Whenever he saw a house where no one lived, he would go inside. This time, he had just entered someone's house and was taking a bath in the bathroom when he heard the door open. He assumed the owners had returned and immediately jumped out the window and ran away. He continued wandering around like this, just trying to survive. After a while, he saw a car, completely empty and in a dilapidated condition. Someone had abandoned the car as if it were junk, but Dwight was happy because he now had a place to live. He started living inside that car. In the evenings, he went out and ate leftover food from the dumpsters. Then he returned to his car, read some books, and went to sleep. It seemed as if this man had no purpose in life, but for 20 years, he had been waiting for someone to get out of jail, just so he could kill them with his own hands. The next morning, police officer Eddie arrived. Eddie already knew Dwight. She pulled Dwight out of the car and said, "I don't want you to get into any trouble." But Wade Clandestine was about to get out of prison. He was the man who killed Dwight's parents 20 years ago. Hearing this, a fire ignited within Dwight. His sole purpose in life was to kill Wade. Now he knew Wade was coming out. He began preparing for revenge. He put a new battery in his old car so it could run properly. Wade was about to be released from a prison in Virginia, so he would have to go there too. To do so, he went to a gun shop, but the guns there were so expensive that he couldn't buy any. Then he wrote a letter to his sister and started breaking car windows in a parking lot, hoping to find a gun. After some time, he found one, but the trigger was locked. Dwight kept trying again and again to break the lock, but in the process, he broke the entire gun. Then he decided to kill him with his bare hands, not with the gun. So he left for Virginia without the gun. There, he waited outside the jail to see when Wade would come out and where he would go. A short while later, a limousine arrived at the jail gate, and Wade emerged. Wade's family was overjoyed to see him. Everyone embraced him. Dwight cried at the sight. The man who took his parents from him was now enjoying himself with his family. As they left, Dwight followed them. A short while later, Wade's family stopped at a bar to party a little. Wade, enraged, entered the bar from the back and quickly hid in the bathroom, waiting for Wade to come in alone. As soon as Wade entered, Dwight immediately jumped out and attacked Wade's throat. But Wade survived the attack and launched a series of attacks on Dwight. But Dwight didn't give up. He attacked again, this time plunging a knife into Wade's forehead. Wade fell to the ground, barely breathing. His death was certain, so Dwight immediately left. Meanwhile, Wade's family became suspicious. What was he doing in the bathroom for so long? They all hurried to the bathroom. Dwight got out and first punctured Wade's car tire and then got into his own car. He noticed a deep cut on his hand, which was bleeding profusely. Perhaps he had dropped the car keys during his fight with Wade, so he decided to escape with Wade's car. He immediately got out and got into Wade's car. Luckily, the keys were still inside. He quickly started the car and drove away. After a while, he felt someone in the back seat. He stopped the car. A boy named William came out from behind. William shouted, "Why did you kill Wade?" Dwight replied, Wade killed my parents. He made me an orphan." Hearing this, the boy panicked and ran away. William's expression made Dwight a little confused. Now he felt like he had killed the wrong person. Could it be that Wade had taken the blame for someone else? He thought. Then he saw an empty house ahead. It looked as if no one had visited it in a long time. Dwight went inside to change his appearance. First, he cut his long hair and beard so that no one would recognize him. Then he bathed and became a completely clean man. He bandaged his hand and put on new clothes. Then he checked all the news channels on TV, but there was no news of Wade's death anywhere. Then he came out of the house. He saw a truck outside and asked the driver for a lift. He was on his way to visit his sister, Sam. Sam's husband had died. She lived alone with her 2 children. A short while later, Dwight arrived at her house. Sam was overjoyed to see her brother after so long. After a while, they went to a restaurant to eat. Then, suddenly, Dwight announced that he had killed Wade, the man who had killed their parents. Hearing this, Sam became furious. But deep inside, she felt a little relieved that the man who had orphaned them was now dead. Sam explained that Wade's family lived in their neighborhood. They were very wealthy. "He always puts me down whenever he can. He especially flaunts his limousine." After a brief conversation, Dwight realized the Cleland family was incredibly powerful. Now that he had killed Wade, they wouldn't sit back. They would soon come after him, searching for him. Then he realized they were both outside. Who was watching the children? The thought of this terrified them both, and they immediately ran back into the house. Sam went inside and found the children safe and sound. But now she was terrified and came out furious. She slapped Dwight. "Everything was going perfectly," she said. "You've put our family in trouble again. Now I don't know what to do." Dot said, "I'll take care of everything, but until then, you have to leave with the children." She told Sam to pack up her things and go to Pittsburgh with the children. children. Don't come back until I've fixed everything. Sam also realized that the safety of her children was paramount. She packed up and left, leaving Dide alone. Now, Dide had to make sure no one would come after his sister. First, he checked the house. Then, he wondered how he would defend himself if Wade's family attacked. But there were no weapons in the house. Furthermore, his sister had probably taken a knife with her. Dwight made his own arrangements with whatever little things he could find and waited. As night fell, he heard a car approaching. He immediately ran to the window. Looking outside, he saw Wade's two brothers, Teddy and Cal, who had arrived in Dide's car. Dide understood that these men hadn't come with weapons to worship him, but to kill him. He immediately went upstairs and turned on the bathroom light. He also turned on the water so that if they came into the house, they would go straight upstairs, thinking whoever was there was upstairs, and not search around downstairs. Turning on the lights, Dwight looked out the window again and realized the two brothers were coming from different directions, one from the main gate and the other from the back gate. Dwight then went downstairs and hid under the sofa in the hall. Both brothers entered the house and slowly began to make their way upstairs. Now, Dwight had a chance to escape. As soon as he came out, he realized that Cal had seen him. Cal had a bow and arrow in his hand and was continuously shooting arrows at Dwight. Dwight ran to his car and started driving quickly, but in the chaos, he hit Teddy, causing him to fall to the ground. Dwight immediately got out of the car, picked him up and said, "Tell me quickly, are you guys after me or my sister?" But Teddy was unconscious and couldn't say anything. Then Dwight picked up Teddy's gun and saw Cal coming after him. Dwight fired and Cal hid. Dwight quickly picked up Teddy and started putting him in his car, but just as he was about to get into the front seat, Cal shot an arrow into his leg. Dot was bleeding profusely. He started the car, still wounded, and sped away. Cal ran after them, screaming, but Dwight didn't stop. He sped away. He first pulled the unconscious Teddy out of the back seat and into the trunk. Dwight was in excruciating pain. He tried to remove the arrow from his leg, but it wasn't easy. He then made his way to the store, hiding his wound. He grabbed some medicine and a few supplies to remove the arrow, but even after all this, he couldn't. The blood was flowing so profusely that he felt he might die. Finally, he had to go to the hospital. But before he could see a doctor, he collapsed. When he woke up, he saw himself lying on a bed. He had been treated, and his leg was being stretched. Dwight's leg wasn't completely healed yet, but he couldn't stay in the hospital. He came out and hurried to his car. He knocked on the trunk, and Teddy started screaming loudly. This clearly meant he was still alive. He then quickly changed into his hospital clothes. Everything was going according to Dwight's plan. Now Dwight went straight to his sister Sam's house. He first locked the doors and windows inside so no one could see inside. He turned off all the lights, cleaned the house, and then returned to the car. Sitting in the car, he was looking through Sam's old album containing his childhood photos. Then Dwight repeatedly yelled, "My leg is broken and I'm very thirsty." But Dwight ignored him. Looking through the album, he began to remember the happy days of his childhood. There, he saw an old friend named Ben. Seeing him, Dwight decided to visit Ben. He drove to Ben's house, but only found his mother there. Bun's mother explained that Bun had been gone for almost a year, but he recognized Dwight, saying he was his childhood best friend. He gave Dwight Bun's card and told him he lived in the city and that this was his address. Dwight drove back to the address in a few hours. There, he met a girl who told him that Bun was still working. He would be free only if his shift ran late into the night. Then, Dwight went outside and waited, looking at Ben's car. Around midnight, Bun came out, and they both began reminiscing about their past. Dwight said, "Look, I don't have much time. I came here to ask for your help. I need a gun." Ben understood that the matter was serious. He told Dwight to go home. They then headed home. Once home, Ben handed him the gun and asked, "Do you know how to use it?" Dwight replied, "I don't know, but I'll manage." Ben replied, "There's no one around here. I can teach you how to shoot in the backyard." Dwight replied, "I've already had enough help from you, my brother. I don't want to bother you anymore. I just need a gun." He took the gun and left. On his way, he also grabbed a water can to give to Teddy. As he opened the trunk, Teddy emerged. He saw Dwight standing in front of him with a gun. Teddy immediately started drinking water. Dwight asked, "Why did you come to my house? To kill me or my sister?" So Teddy said, "We came to kill you, you bastard." Then he revealed something that shook Dwight. "What do you think?" Teddy said, "Your father was a very decent man. He was having an affair with my mother. When my father found out about this, he went to your house in a rage to kill your father, but he never meant to kill your mother. She wasn't at fault in any of this, but she was killed trying to intervene. Then Dad sent Wade to jail instead because he was under 18. He would get a lesser sentence." Hearing this, Dwight Dwight was upset. He said, "I want to end this once and for all. I don't want my family dragged into this again. I admit I killed your brother. I'll even surrender to the police for that." Teddy replied, "Our family doesn't live by such things. We live by our own rules, not the law. Now your entire family will die, even your sister and her children." Hearing this, Dwight fired a shot, frightening Teddy. Dwight handed him the phone and told him to call his family and tell them he was coming to end everything. No one needs to do anything else. Teddy called and spoke with them. A short while later, Dwight came forward to take the phone. This is where Teddy found his chance, attacked Dwight, and snatched the gun from him. He said, "Our family has its own rules. My father didn't serve his sentence even after committing 2 murders. He died of cancer, and now you're gonna die too." He was about to shoot Dwight when a bullet came from close range, hitting Teddy squarely in the head. The shot was fired by Ben, who was worried about his friend. He picked Dwight up and said, "I knew you were going to do something wrong. That's why I was chasing you." He handed Dwight the gun and said, "You have a gun in your hand, but you don't know how to use it. A gun is useless if the bullet doesn't hit the target." Ben then trained him, and gradually Dwight began to improve. After training, Ben gave him a gun, money, and some food. He also said, "Your problem is my problem. Both brothers will go together." But Dwight refused. "You've already saved my life, my brother. I've gotten all the help I needed. Now our paths are different, and you can burn any photos you have of me." With that, Dwight left, but Ben still pursued him. But a short while later, Ben's car suddenly stopped. When Ben opened the hood, he discovered that Dwight had deliberately damaged the battery in his car. Dwight knew Ben wouldn't give up on him, and he didn't want to get him into trouble. Dwight, meanwhile, was eating a meal further away. Then, Dwight mustered up the courage and entered the Cleland family's home. He began searching for the suspects, gun in hand, but no one was there. After a while, he collected all the weapons and threw them in the river so that they wouldn't have any. Then he went to Wade's father's grave, the same man who had killed his parents. Wade knew he couldn't do anything to a dead man, but he still urinated on the grave because it was his doing. He buried the body securely and sat inside, waiting for the men to return. He had set traps everywhere, but no one came. When the lights in the house suddenly came on in the evening, he panicked. He picked up his gun and looked for who had come. Then he realized that the lights were automatic. They turned on at 8 in the evening. He couldn't wait any longer. He called his home number and left a message saying he wanted to end everything. He had no enmity with their family, only with the man who killed his parents. But if they went after his sister, he wouldn't leave anyone alive. A few hours later, the Cleland family returned. 3 people entered the house, Carl and his 2 sisters. From their conversation, Dwight learned that they had found out everything about Sam, that he was still in Pittsburgh, and that they were going to kill him and his 2 children soon. Hearing this, Dwight became very angry and shot Carl. Now only his 2 sisters were left. Dwight said, "I have no intention of killing your entire family. My enmity was only with your father, but my sisters. You made a big mistake by going after him." Suddenly, William appeared and shot Dwight. While Dwight was shot, he was still alive. Both girls fired and told William to finish him off quickly, but William couldn't. Then the truth came out. William was actually Dwight's half-brother. Dwight's father had an illicit relationship with their mother, and William was born at that time. Dwight snatched his gun. He had the chance to kill William, but he left him alive. The 2 women watched. Then one of them pulled a machine gun from under the sofa and began firing. A short while later, the bodies of all 3 lay there. Carl and his 2 sisters were dead. Only William was alive. Sometime later, a man brought a newspaper to Sam's house in Pittsburgh. The newspaper said everyone was dead, meaning no one would come after Sam now. Dwight not only took his revenge, but also kept his sister safe forever. If you're still here, that means you got completely trapped in this recap. You survived Dwight's story, but can you survive the next one? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell because the next movie recap will be even more intense.